Hello everyone, welcome to this virtual river dip, which is our first community-wide event for the Plymouth River Keepers project. We're very pleased that you have joined us today. In normal circumstances, we would be holding events and drop-in sessions with you in the community where you live, but unfortunately this isn't possible due to COVID-19 restrictions. So here we are online instead. We're hoping that everything goes smoothly with our technology and that you can hear us okay. So my name is Lucy Morris and I work for the Westcountry Rivers Trust. I'm the project manager for the Plymouth River Keepers project. Today's event is really meant to be an introduction to the project, what it's about and how you can get involved. And we're planning to take no longer than an hour. There will be an opportunity for you to ask us questions during today's event using the Q&A button at the top of your screen. If you would like to ask a question at any point during the event, then type it into the Q&A section and we will have time later on to answer as many questions as we can. When you type in the question, it might say it's private, but don't worry, we can see these and we'll make them public. You can add your name to your question or remain anonymous if you'd like. So first off today, I'd like to introduce the project team here at Westcountry Rivers Trust. So first there's Jenny.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenny Ritchley and I'm the project officer for Plymouth River Keepers. Thanks for joining us today. I will be coordinating the day-to-day running of the project on the ground and I'm also the main point of contact. So please feel free to get in touch with me. We would love to hear from you. Over to Lydia.
Hello everybody, I'm Lydia. I work for Westcountry Rivers Trust in their evidence and engagement team. I'll be helping to monitor the streams for water quality in North West Plymouth and also to coordinate our Westcountry citizen science investigation. You'll hear more about that later on in the event. I'll just pass over to Holly now.
Hello everyone, I'm Holly and I coordinate our water monitoring programme here at the Westcountry Rivers Trust. And as part of the Plymouth River Keepers project, I'm going to be talking to you today about the different types of pollution and the easy changes that you can make at home to minimise your environmental impact.
Hello everybody, I'm Josie. I am the Communications and Marketing Manager for Westcountry Rivers Trust. I'm working with the Plymouth River Keepers team to create positive publicity for the project. You may have already heard us on local radios such as BBC Radio Devon, and you can look out for us in an upcoming edition of the Devon Life magazine. Stay connected via our website, social media, and if you can type in the Q&A section how you heard about us, that would be a really big help. Thank you.
So that's the team here at Westcountry Rivers Trust. And now we're going to go to Jenny, who's going to give a presentation to tell you a bit about the background of the project, how you can get involved and what we are hoping to achieve.
Welcome to our Plymouth River Keepers River Dip. I'm Jenny and I'm the project officer for Plymouth River Keepers, a Westcountry Rivers Trust project. Westcountry Rivers Trust has the money to spend in your community to improve local streams and rivers, help habitats and wildlife thrive, and to enhance natural spaces for you to enjoy. We want you to tell us what you would like to see change or improve on your doorstep. We are initially working in the neighbourhoods of Ernesettle, Tamerton Foliot, Southway, Whitley, Widewell, Honickknoll, Derriford Western Crown Hill, and Manadon and Widey. This 3-year project, funded by an enforcement undertaking from South West Water, will help to offset the damage caused by a major pollution event which occurred in August 2016. The pollution was caused by a sewer blockage due to a build-up of cleaning wipes. The Tamerton stream has suffered several pollution incidents over the years, but this particular event had a substantial impact on the stream, killing more than 80 brown trout. Plymouth River Keepers' aims are to prevent pollution and improve water quality, to protect the streams for wildlife and current and future generations, to ensure the places streams flow are ones people can enjoy now and in the future, to embed water environment caretakers in communities, and to build a local love for water. There are many problems facing our streams. Pollution, for example, from surface water outfalls. There are over 50 outfalls in our project area, from combined sewer overflows, storm runoff from roads, and household misconnections where domestic appliances are incorrectly plumbed in. Litter and fly tipping. Some of the items we have seen in our streams include shopping trolleys, bikes, tyres, building materials and garden waste, along with general litter. This not only looks unpleasant, but it can also be a danger to our wildlife. Barriers to fish migration. For fish to flourish, connectivity between their habitats is vital to allow access between adult, juvenile and breeding habitat. We have identified almost 30 barriers in our streams, including man-made structures such as culverts, as well as accumulated debris such as wood, leaves and litter. Other problems include invasive non-native plant species and a lack of access and views for people. Westcountry Rivers Trust experts will be carrying out environmental surveys throughout the project, including water quality monitoring and electrofishing surveys. These surveys will help us to decide what improvements to make and where, and to monitor the improvements that occur. We will be getting stuck in with practical habitat management, such as tackling non-native invasive plant species and removing barriers to fish passage to improve their migration routes. These activities will help us to make the streams healthier for fish and other wildlife. We hope to improve access and views to the streams to increase the connection to the water for you and your family. You can help us by telling us where you would most like to see this happen. Some of our activities are currently on hold due to COVID-19, but once it is safer to do so, we will be running community engagement activities. We'll be getting creative with art projects as well as running river cleanups and litter picks. We plan to begin holding regular community events throughout the year at the start of 2021. We want you to join us as a Plymouth Riverkeeper. If you haven't already, we would love it if you completed our online surveys. We have a survey for residents and a survey for community groups, and these can be found on our webpage. You can also send us your wildlife sightings. We have already had some fantastic sightings sent in to us, including little egrets seen fishing for sprats and crabs in Ernestsettle Creek, a green woodpecker feeding her young, and a variety of fish in the streams, including flounder, stickleback and European eel. You can become a citizen scientist or join us on our community events. Maptionaire is an interactive online survey map which allows you to share your thoughts with us about your local area, such as what you enjoy most about your local natural environments and what you would like to see change or improve, where your favourite woodlands, nature trails and parks are, where you access the streams and rivers, and where you have seen fish. The coloured areas on this heat map show us where people who have taken part in our survey so far visit the most. We can see that these people are not tending to access all of the streams in our project area. We would love to find out why and try to change that with your input. Through Maptionaire, people have also told us what they love most about where they live and why. This is a short demonstration of how to use our Maptionaire survey. You do not need to answer every question, but please ensure that once you have completed the survey, you click on the Done button on the very last page to save your responses. Some of the questions, like these, are open text questions. Once you have completed your answers, click on the arrow at the bottom of the screen to move on to the next page. You can also use the backwards arrow to go back to a previous page at any time during the survey. In the multiple choice style questions, click in the circle to select your answer. For the questions with the circle tick box, you will only be able to select one answer. For the map pin questions, first click on the pin or question box. The pin will be dropped onto the map. You may want to zoom into the map, and you can do this by using the plus and minus buttons on the right-hand side of the page. You can also add an aerial photo if you find it easier. You can use the hand to move the map around while the pin stays in the same place. Alternatively, you can click on the pin with the hand and move it while the map remains in the same place. I'm going to choose Whitley Woods for this one. Once you are happy with the position of the pin, click on the green tick. A pop-up box will open with an additional question. Once you have answered, please click on Save, and you will then return to the main question. If you do not wish to answer the pop-up question, you will still need to click the Save button to save the pin location. Favourite nature trails is a bit different, as this uses a line to show your favourite trail. You may find it easiest to find your favourite nature trail on the map first. I'm going to choose Bud's Head Wood for this one. Click on the question box, and then you can begin to draw your favourite nature trail. A double click will stop the drawing. Again, a pop-up question will appear. Please ensure to click Save. For the map, pin and line style questions, you can mark as many areas as you wish by clicking on the question again. In the multiple choice style questions with square tick boxes, you will be able to choose more than one option. Click in the box to select your answer, but you can click on the box again to remove your answer. For these questions about water, use the mouse to move the slider to estimate your answer. If you would like to be involved in the project or would like to be included in further updates, you can enter your name and email address on the last page, but you do not need to provide this information if you do not wish to do so. And please remember to click Done at the end of the survey to ensure that all of your answers are saved. Westcountry CSI is our citizen science programme which has been running for 4 years. CSI Riverkeepers monitor their local waterways, keeping a lookout for changes in water quality, pollution issues, including plastic pollution, problem plants and the well-being of wildlife. Not only does their input help improve the health of the region's rivers, streams, lakes and ponds, but they become part of a growing team of essential citizen scientists. We are looking for people in Plymouth to take part. If you would like to learn more about the wildlife, flora and water quality of your local waterway, please get in touch. No experience is needed. We'll provide training and water quality monitoring kits for you. Later on, our Citizen Science Coordinator, Lydia, will be sharing a CSI demonstration from the riverbank with us so that you can see what's involved. You can find our project on social media under the hashtag Plymouth Riverkeepers. We'd love to see your photos of the project area. You can tag us on social media or you can email your photos to us. We will even add them to our online gallery. Thank you for joining us today and please get in touch with us if you would like to find out more.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Jenny. Really interesting to hear about the background to the project and also great that we've had so many wonderful wildlife sightings already. So really looking forward to seeing what people send in and our questionnaires and getting involved. So now we're going to go to Holly, who is going to tell us about some of the issues that our rivers face. Over to Holly.
Thanks, Lucy. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining me today for my talk on pollution, where I want to share with you some information on the different kinds of water pollution you might come across locally, including some types that you may not have thought about much before. So a definition of pollution is a material introduced to the environment that has a detrimental effect, and these materials may be chemical, biological, or physical. For many of you, the images on this slide might be what you think of when you hear the word pollution, but what you may not be so aware of is the pollution that you can't necessarily see with the naked eye, or that which you may not even realise is problematic. This is just as serious and is often entering our rivers in apparently smaller quantities, but in a more frequent fashion, so that the accumulation of all these contaminants can do lasting damage to aquatic life. Some examples of pollution you might see in your local river include sewage discharge, Many of you won't realise that not all discharge from the sewerage system is actually treated. CSOs, which stands for Combined Sewer Overflows, are systems designed to take both foul water and clean surface runoff to the sewage treatment plant. During times of heavy rainfall or if sewers get blocked, CSOs will overspill and discharge foul water which can enter our watercourses. Sediment. So the muddy looking water that you can see to the left of this picture is river water with fine particles of sediment or soil suspended in it. This soil has washed off the neighbouring land or eroded from the riverbanks. You'll be used to seeing this in the West Country, particularly during heavy rain, and therefore this might seem like something natural and kind of non-problematic. But you may not realise that sediment, as well as acting as a carrier for nasties like pesticides and bacteria, can smother the riverbed, making it extremely difficult for developing fish embryos to survive. Plastics. Perhaps this is the most widely known about and debated environmental problem we are facing currently. Plastic litter can cause a problem when animals ingest them or get tangled up in them, and can also leach nasty chemicals into our waters. Ochreous precipitates. Some of you may have seen this strange, vibrant orange gunge coating streams and rivers and river channels. So although this looks gross, it is actually a natural phenomenon which occurs when dissolved iron in our soils reacts with the oxygen in the air. It is often associated with artificially drained land and can be problematic to fish in the same way as excessive sediment pollution. Examples of pollution that might pass us by are nutrients. Nutrients such as nitrate and phosphate are vital for all living things but are harmful in excess. Nutrients are present in sewage, animal excrement, washing detergents and in agricultural fertilisers. The latter are added to the soil to encourage plant growth, but they are frequently washed off the land and into rivers where they can encourage excessive growth of algae. These algal blooms cover the surface of the water, blocking out light for other plants, and then, when they die, are decomposed by bacteria that use up oxygen in the water, condemning other life, including fish, to death. This process is known as eutrophication. Pesticides and drugs. There are a great variety of chemicals applied to crops by farmers to kill pests such as slugs, fungi and weeds. Drugs administered to animals to fight disease or parasites, or those we take ourselves, also contain chemicals that can harm the environment. Many of these chemicals do not rapidly or safely break down in the environment and can persist for many years. If ingested by organisms, they can accumulate in tissues over time and be highly toxic. Microplastics. So I already covered the fact that animals can eat plastic bags or get tangled in plastic pack rings, but large plastic items will break up over time into tiny fragments called microplastics that we cannot see. These are difficult or expensive to remove via water treatment and contain harmful chemicals. Bacteria. We probably all know someone who got sick swimming in the sea or river from gulping down some dirty water. Harmful bacteria is present in human and animal waste and so can be released into rivers via sewage discharge and farming practices. So thanks for listening to this talk, and I hope you learned something today. Do join me later on for another talk on the simple things that you can do in the home to minimise your risk of polluting our watercourses. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Holly. That's really great. Really good to find out about all the things that can pollute our rivers. You know, there's so much stuff out there, yeah, really interesting. So now we have a short film that we made a couple of weeks ago in the woods by the Tamerton Stream, where Lydia Deacon is going to tell you about what is involved in becoming a citizen scientist for the Plymouth Riverkeepers project.
Hi, my name is Lydia Deacon and I am an Evidence and Engagement Officer for Westcountry Rivers Trust. And part of my role is to run the Westcountry Citizen Science Investigation. And today I'm going to run you through a quick sample to show you what it's all about. You don't need any experience to become a citizen scientist with Westcountry CSI. All you need is a bit of enthusiasm and interest in your local environment. We know very little about the water quality of these streams in North West Plymouth, so we need your help as volunteers to go out there, collect samples, and then we can start building a picture of the water quality and maybe some of the issues that we can help tackle in Plymouth Riverkeepers project. It's nice and simple to carry out a Westcountry CSI survey. All you have to do is follow our survey form. Initially, the survey form will ask you for environmental parameters, such as the wildlife you spotted, or maybe a problem plant species. It also asks you to observe pollution sources and evidence of recent pollution, such as litter or an outfall. Once you've filled out the environmental observations on the survey form, it will ask you to take a water quality sample. To do this, you will use our Westcountry CSI water quality kit. First of all, I'm going to measure the phosphate level of the water. I do this by taking one of our phosphate strips and inserting it into the cap of a test tube. I then invert that test tube 5 times and have a look at the colour of the water afterwards. If it's very dark blue, it's very high in phosphate, and if it's clear, there's no phosphate. Phosphates can be found in household items such as cleaning products. It can be found in sewage, and it can also run off from farms. I'm now going to measure our total dissolved solids in the sample. I get my meter and I pop it into the sample and allow the reading to stabilise. Once it's stabilised, I'll press the hold button and have a look at the value. It will tell me both the total dissolved solids and the temperature of the water. Temperatures fluctuate seasonally in our rivers and are closely linked to the ecology which lives within our waterways. With climate change, it is becoming increasingly important that we monitor the temperature both in summer and winter, as it can have severe effects on the ecology. Dissolved solids can originate from grey water misconnections, from sewage, and from farm runoff. Finally, we'll have a look at the turbidity of our water, or how many suspended solids are in it. We fill our turbidity tube slowly, constantly having a look to see if we can see the Secchi disc at the bottom. When the Secchi disc disappears, we read off the side of our turbidity tube to give us a value. High turbidity could be for a number of reasons. It could be from soil running off the land surrounding the river, or it could be from the grey water from the misconnection in your pipes. These are all really important observations and help us paint a picture of what is going on in your local area. Once you've completed that, you're all done with our Westcountry CSI survey and you're ready to put it online on our cartographer page. Remember that if you want to get signed up, just email csi@wrt.org.uk and I can get you all signed up and ready to go.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lydia. That was a great little film telling us about becoming a citizen scientist. And we are really hoping that there might be some of you that have joined us today that might sign up to become a citizen scientist on your local river or stream, so that we can start to build up a much better picture about some of the issues that your local rivers are facing. So yeah, now we're going to go back to Holly Pearson, who is going to talk a bit about some of the things we can do at home in our everyday lives to help protect the water and wildlife on our doorstep.
Hello again, and welcome to the second half of my talk today on what you can do about pollution. So what you may not have thought about is that many of the things you do automatically in the home could be having an inadvertent negative impact on your local stream or river. I'm going to share with you some easy steps that you can take to avoid this. So the first thing is, think before you flush. Flushing wet wipes or cotton buds down the toilet might seem a convenient and sensible way of ridding your bathroom of waste, but once it leaves the toilet bowl, they can wreak all kinds of havoc on the environment. Wet wipes are designed to remain wet and are actually made of synthetic materials that do not break up or biodegrade like toilet paper does in water. They can clump together in pipes, blocking sewers and causing untreated, polluted water to overflow into nearby watercourses, as we saw with the instance of the CSO in the last talk. Be careful of wet wipes that claim to be safe to flush and that they're biodegradable. The chances are they really aren't. So the best thing you can do is stick to the 3 Ps, poo, pee and paper, and you can't go far wrong. If you want to read more about the environmental issues surrounding wet wipes, visit the Friends of the Earth link that I've put on this slide. So by the same token, fats, oils and greases, or fondly known as fog, can also cause similar blockages in sewers and cause polluted water again to spill into our rivers and seas. So when you're washing up, be mindful of pouring cooking oils down the sink. They seem fine at first glance, they're runny and they slip down the plug hole, right? But what they do is cool and solidify in your pipes, building up to block your flow and other people's. So wipe out your pans with a paper towel beforehand or collect it into a container and dispose of it in a bin. Or even better, see if you can recycle it at your local recycling facility. Another thing you can do is think about the volume of water you use on a daily basis. The more we use, the less that's available to the rivers, and with our climate changing, we are experiencing more frequent, longer periods of extreme weather events. We can all do our bit by conserving and recycling the water we use. For example, in our gardens, using rainwater butts or reusing our washing up water. One handy and inexpensive piece of kit is the Hippo Water Saver. This is simply a plastic bag that opens out and sits in your toilet cistern to reduce the amount of water used to flush the toilet. You could also give some thought to the number of washes you do each week. Have you filled the drum up each time? Could you opt for a more eco-friendly detergent? Or could you wash on a cooler cycle? Washing at 30 degrees will actually help reduce your electricity bills as well as reduce your carbon consumption. If you're up for a challenge, why not sign up to our Be Watertight campaign? The link's below. Finally, there are a few things outside the home to help you improve your waterways for the benefit of everyone. You could sign up to become a Westcountry citizen scientist to help us gather vital data on the quality of our water. And if you do spot visible pollution in your local watercourse, then do report it to the Environment Agency via their hotline number 0800 80 70 60. You can also report fly tipping to your local council so that they can safely collect and dispose of it. So thanks very much for listening, and please do get in contact if you want any more information.
Brilliant. Thank you, Holly. There's lots of really useful information in there for all of us. So now we're going to go to straight to our Q&A session. I think some people have been asking some questions in there that we have answered as we've gone along, but Josie will be having a look at what other questions we've got and directing them to suitable people in the team. If you have any questions that you can think of now, then please do just type them in and we'll do our best to answer them. Over to you, Josie.
Thank you, Lucy. Yes, we have had a few questions come in, which is great. Just running through the ones that we've had that you can all hopefully see. Adam, a guy from Plymouth University, asked about a map for the project area available for download. There is an illustration on the website, but it may be worthwhile getting in touch with us and asking us if you do require a different style downloadable map. We may be able to look at that and add something to our website as well in the coming weeks. So yes, hopefully we can have something that you can use. It's really great as well, I think, that 2 storks have been sighted in Settle Creek today, which is amazing. And I think Jenny would probably be really pleased if, well, we all would, if anyone wants to take our wildlife survey and let us know what else they see in the project area. And those are all online as well on our webpage, so please do go and have a look there. Holly has very kindly answered a question about pebbles and stones on the beach in the water at the shore attracting algae. Holly, did you want to expand any more on that? Are you happy to just sort of run through what you've said there?
Yeah, yes, sure. So thanks for your question. And I would imagine one of the main sort of reasons for this may well be elevated nutrients along the shoreline there. It's hard to tell without a picture or going and looking and actually taking a test. So it may well be a very good candidate for you to, you know, if you can and you want to, do sign up to the CSI, and we can actually provide you with kit where you can actually run a little test yourself and see if the nutrients are elevated there. Otherwise, it may just be naturally from sunlight. You will get algal growth on rocks. Remember, some algae and a certain amount of this is fine and it's natural. It's only when you've got these huge blooms that cover the surface and prevent that light penetration, and then when the oxygen sort of used up in the water, and that's a real problem for you know, for other aquatic life. So don't worry if there's a little bit there, but certainly you know, worry if you do see these great kind of green broths, if you like, look like on the surface. But yeah, I should definitely you know, see if we can get in touch with Lydia and see if you can get a little sample. That'd be quite interesting.
Thank you, Holly. And on that note, I think I might just ask Lydia if she would like to just sort of talk about, I know she already has and explained CSI, but we have a question here around potentially coordinating litter picks in the area. So maybe just having a quick chat about ideas around what we might be able to do on people's doorsteps.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you are interested in signing up for CSI, just give us an email and let us know that you're in the Northwest Plymouth area, because we're trying to have a really coordinated effort so that the data you collect we can actually really use, because the last Environment Agency sample taken in this area was back in 2013. So there's a huge gap in data. We know very little about the streams apart from the pollution events. So, you know, we would like to have a more continuous data set so we can properly understand it and also to guide our interventions during this project as well. And of course, we will be doing other things in the community once it's safe to do so. Obviously, COVID-19 has been a huge barrier for us coming out in the field, but we really do want to interact with you and we want to be able to clean up your area alongside you. So litter picks are definitely going to be part of that. So yeah, please do get in touch with us if you're interested in being part of the project. And I'll pass back to Josie if there are any other questions.
Thank you, Lydia. And we do have a new question coming from Jane about detergents from washing machines coming from pipes from the housing estate, but I can see that Holly is actually replying, so we can come back to that one. And it might be that maybe we just head over to have a quick chat with Lucy, just to tell us a little bit more about the funding side of how we can actually do work in the area and what potentially we could do with the funding that we have available.
Yes, of course, no problem, Josie. So within the project, we've obviously, within the wider project, we've got funding in order to carry out kind of our environmental surveys, and we've also got some funding to work with a couple of farms in the upper catchment, and for our fisheries team to look at some of the barriers to fish migration. But in terms of the money that we've earmarked within the project, a pot of money to do specific kind of infrastructure works and events and stuff with the community. And I know that people are often interested, you know, sort of what sorts of sums of money, and I think that's around £30,000 to £40,000 at the moment. And there's a lot that needs to be included within that money, but you know, it does mean that there are kind of options for us, and we're really keen to you know, get input from people about the things that they would like to see change in their area in relation to the green spaces by the streams themselves and the rivers themselves, and access, and you know, the way they kind of interact with their local environment. We are obviously constrained by the remit of the project and the funding that we've got, but you know, that there will be a lot that we can do, and we're really keen to kind of have input from people in the community. And as we've mentioned before, there are lots of ways to get in touch. You can email, you can fill out our questionnaires online, you can probably even give us a call, or contact us via our website or social media. So yeah, we're really looking forward to hearing from you, and we will be you know, getting out and about to meet you in person as soon as we possibly can. Thanks, Josie.
Thanks, Lucy. I've now seen that Holly has very kindly answered the question about the washing machines and the detergents. So hopefully that has provided plenty of info on that for you. I think one of the other questions we have been asked in the past is around collaboration with not just individuals in the community, but with other groups locally. So perhaps I could go to Jenny as the project officer just to say a few words about working with other community groups and community organisations, and what we could all potentially do together.
Thanks, Josie. Yeah, we are really keen to collaborate with anybody in the area. So that's sort of any community groups or individuals, and obviously anybody that lives and works in the area will know it really well. So any information that you've got that you want to share with us would be great. Please feel free to get in touch, and if you think there's any way that you can get involved or help our project, or you've got any ideas or anything you'd like to discuss with us, then please feel free to do so. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, Josie.
Thank you, Jenny. And it looks like that's all our questions for now. So unless anyone wants to type really quickly to ask another question during the Q&A, it's time to hand back over to Lucy.
Brilliant. Thanks, Josie, and thank you for staying with us all the way to this point in events, and for asking those questions with us. And like we've said many times before, you know, please do get in touch if you have any other questions, or if you have information that you'd like to share with us. Please keep an eye on our social media, and sign up for our newsletter, so we can let you know about events that we've got planned. Some of those may well initially be online events if we're unable to actually meet people in the community, but fingers crossed things will improve on that front by the start of next year, and yeah, we'll actually kind of be able to get out and meet people in person a little bit more than we have already. So just to end today, we've got we're going to show a slideshow which is about Northwest Plymouth, and it was created by our project partners, the Bioregional Learning Centre. The Bioregional Learning Centre team have been looking into the history of the area to understand what's underneath the skin of this special part of North Plymouth. So yeah, we hope you enjoy it, and thank you again for joining us today.
Making a story of a place. Making a story of a place helps us understand it better and the long timeline of humans. This story is about northwest Plymouth as an edge place and what that means. We interviewed people who live and work here. We went for walks with them in the woods and along the streams. We did research and read books, and we asked questions. For the Riverkeeper project to find a home here and work in a way that fits with what is already going on and what people see is needed, we started with a blank slate. Asking how big is here is about belonging and feeling at home. It is also about boundaries and relating with other places, both near and far. It puts this place at the centre of our map. Northwest Plymouth is unique, but all Britain's rivers and streams are in poor health and have communities around them that can help to care for them. We need river keepers. The patterns that we found point to how this place is experienced, what it offers, and its role in the wider world. The patterns have been here from the very beginning. This is essentially an edge place, at the edge of Devon and the edge of England. It has been an edge place since the end of the last ice age, 10,000 years ago, when sea levels rose. Where urban and rural meet is a vital edge, often where many people live close to nature. For a long time, this place was rural, leaving patterns that can still be seen in the land. Exchange and trade happen across edges. Here sunlight is being exchanged for electricity, but pirates, miners, saints and sailors were also agents of exchange. Bud's Head Mill was on the edge of the Tamerton Lake. It used tidal flow for energy and turned grain into flour right up till 1946. Now our food comes down global supply lines. Edge places play a special role. Even though they can appear neglected, they are often where new ideas come from or where change starts. Welcoming home appears as a pattern that describes the core purpose of this place and how it relates to the world around it. Caring is what shifts a place into becoming a home. When the last ice age ended, sea level rose about 150 metres to where it is now. Just before the cut-off, new life made its way over the land bridge, colonising south to north. Homo sapiens arrived here around 44,000 years ago. They brought technology from the continent, as well as language. Making bronze, farming animals and grain followed later. During the Blitz, people found shelter in farmhouses. When the new housing estates were built, families bombed out of the city, bought homes here. Others came from further away. Those first pioneering settlers brought community spirit with them. They understood the importance of belonging to a place and a team. Resourcing the wider world, including resources for war, trade and conquest, and resourcefully making a living from the land through farming, mining and technology is our third pattern. Without water, there is no life. This place has always had water in abundance, in the estuary, rivers, streams, springs and aquifers. a living system that reminds us how life works. Motor technology is one way in which life evolves. From the age of fishes to today, technological innovation has provided local people and fishes with a way to make a living. The tradition of the waterways of this region is old and vast, as is sea voyaging. Both have been vital ways in which this place has resourced the whole nation. Like soil and air, water is one of the building blocks of life. Nobody really owns it, but we are all responsible for making sure it does not get polluted. The role of suburban places, neither city nor rural, is to help us remember we're still on the living earth, and that the living earth and water is what supports our lives. The patterns in this story of place reveal in what ways Northwest Plymouth is special and the kind of role river keepers can play in revitalising nature and communities. An edge place that offers a home for a new step in local people becoming keepers of their rivers and streams can resource the whole nation by showing how it is done. Thanks for watching. We hope you found this inspiring and would like to learn more about Riverkeepers. Bioregional Learning Centre is here to help the project grow.
Hi again, everyone. So that's the end of our event today. Thank you so much for coming along, and we look forward to hearing from you throughout the course of the next months and years. Brilliant. Thank you and goodbye.